Welcome to Cory's Conscious Living. Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Make sure that you're lying in a very comfortable position and you're all snug and warm and quiet. Try and stay still as I tell you all about this very exciting story. Berry Isimus. Berry Isimus. Berry Isimus. Vaya was singing. She didn't know many words at this point, but she'd learnt Merry Christmas, and she'd learnt the Merry Christmas song, and the only other word that she really said most of the time was no. But somehow Heidi and Cherry had figured out all of her different no's and what they meant and what she wanted when she said no. It was Christmas Eve. Everyone was super excited. Oh my gosh, it's Christmas Eve! I love Christmas. Christmas is my most favoritist holiday in the entire world. I get so excited. I am super duper best friends with Santa. Did you know that, Heidi? Did you know that, Vaya? I am so good friends with him. Me and him are like this. And she crossed over a little pause. We're so close. We are so close. He lets me tickle his beard sometimes, and sometimes I can sit on his lap, and his big belly is really warm and snuggly, and she just went on and on about how much her and Santa were really good friends. Heidi didn't say very much, but she thought that maybe Cherry was exaggerating slightly, because really, who gets to hang out with Santa? Apart from all the elves and the elpers at the North Pole, then, a Mrs. Santa, who really gets to spend time with him? Not many people, because he's so busy. And we're not supposed to see him anyway, remember? So she was thinking, how does Cherry get to be best friends with Santa? Seems very unlikely, but I'll just stay quiet and I'll go along with it. And if he comes, and when he comes, I'll know he'll come. He'll come early and he'll spend extra time with us because he loves me so much, she said. Okay, said Heidi. Well, we've only got a few hours before it goes dark, and then it really will feel like Christmas Eve, guys. Vaya, in the meantime, had managed to pull a very long string of tinsel off the Christmas tree in the apartment, and she'd been playing with it and running with it and rolling with it, and she'd managed to completely tie herself up with the tinsel so she looked like a little present, all snug inside, wrapped like a bow. The whole time she kept saying, Berry Isimus, Berry Isimus, Berry Isimus. It was very cute. The night went quite quickly. It got to the point where everyone in the house was supposed to be asleep. And I mean really asleep, otherwise Santa doesn't come, right? Heidi and Cherry had figured that if they pretended to sleep and maybe just kept one eye open sometimes and kind of kept peeking around the apartment, that they would see him, but he wouldn't know that they weren't asleep. It was their plan. There was a rustle and a bustle and a very loud noise. Heidi and Cherry froze. They closed their eyes really quick and pretended to be asleep. Cherry opened one of her eyes and saw, out of the squint, a big red blob. Oh my gosh, she was saying inside. It was almost bursting out of her mouth, but she didn't say anything. She just stayed really still, one eye open. She very slowly tapped Heidi, who was laying next to her on the bed. Heidi had actually fell asleep, but she woke up when Cherry tapped her, opened one eye very slowly, and saw Santa. He was bent over, reaching into his sack, pulling out a bunch of different things and putting them under the Christmas tree. Heidi and Cherry were intently watching. Cherry was thinking about the perfect time she could run over and jump on him and say, "Hey, I've missed you. It's been so long." When Vaya walked over there, as plain as day, and while Santa's back was turned, she crawled into his Santa sack. Said Heidi. "Oh!" said Cherry. "What do we do?" said Cherry. "What do we do?" "Follow her," said Heidi. "The only thing we can do is follow her. She might end up somewhere. She might end up at the North Pole for a year. Let's just follow her." So they very slowly, very quietly sneaked up behind Santa and got into his sack. Everything was dark in there. They stayed very quiet. They felt like a pull and a shove, and they all kind of rolled around in there, and then they felt as if it was cold, like they were outside. They didn't move, they didn't meow, they didn't say anything until Santa got to the next house, opened up his sack, and 3 cat faces were staring at him. "Meow," said Vaya. "Berry Isimus," said Vaya.
"Ho, ho, ho," said Santa. "What do we have here? Is that Cherry, my bestest cat friend?"
"Told ya," said Cherry, and she jumped on him. She jumped and held on with her claws. "I've missed you, Santa. I've missed you. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. I love you." And in the background, Vaya's going, "Berry Isimus, Berry Isimus." And Heidi is just sat there going, "Wow, Cherry really is best friends with Santa. Who would have thunk it?" He pulled all 3 of them out of his sack and said, "What are you 3 doing in my sack? Don't you think that's a little bit naughty?" "Well," said Cherry, "it was Vaya's idea. Actually, thinking about it, it was a really cool idea, because now we can come with you, can't we? Can we come with you? Can we help you? We could be Santa's helpers. We can help you deliver all of your presents all over the world. Oh my gosh, how cool is this? How cool is this?"
Santa said, "Well, actually, I could use some help. And I just happen to have these in my sack." He pulled out 3 miniature Santa sacks that were empty. At first, Heidi was thinking, why would he give us an empty sack? We're not going to be very helpful when we have an empty sack. But she didn't say anything. Heidi's so smart. Cherry and Vaya just jumped around.
"Yay, we get to help! We get to help! We get to help! Can we drink the milk? Can we drink all the milk? Oh my gosh, Heidi! Oh my gosh, Vaya! Can you imagine how much milk we're gonna get to drink tonight? Sometimes they might leave cream. Do they leave cream, Santa? Because cream is even better than milk. What do you think? Do you think we can drink it?"
Santa said, "Yes, Cherry. There is so much cookies and milk that it would actually be very helpful for you to drink some of the milk. You guys could be very useful that way. Well, they started on the journey because there's no time to waste. Christmas Eve, Santa has to get to every single home, every single hut, every single village, every single town, every single city, every single animal den, everywhere, farms, neighborhoods, gosh, tall buildings. He has to be everywhere, remember? No time to waste. What was really cool, thought Heidi, was every house that they went to, they would open their little empty sacks, and when they opened it, there was stuff inside. All different shapes and sizes. Stuff fit in those Santa sacks that you would not think would fit. Like a bike. How would you get a bike in a tiny little cat Santa sack? But you did. It was magic, thought Heidi. Cherry took the job of drinking the milk at every house very seriously. By about the 20th house, she started to feel a little bit sick.
I don't think I feel very well. I think my belly's gonna explode. I don't think I could do any more milk, Santa. I think I'm a bit milk drunk. I'm all wobbly and my legs feel all like jelly, and I think I'm drunk. Can I be drunk?
Santa said, well, I do know that babies can get drunk off breast milk. They call it milk drunk for some reason. Maybe you're milk drunk, Cherry. You best lay off that milk. Cherry looked over at Vaya, and Vaya had milk all over her face. And she was saying, Berry Isimus! Berry Isimus! Berry Christmas! Berry Isimus! Cherry said to her,
Vaya, do you think you could drink my milk? Because I don't think I can drink any more milk. I'm so full. Do you think you could drink my milk?
And Vaya said,
No!
which meant yes, because she was actually still okay at drinking the milk. They started to deliver presents to some really cool people, and they very quickly got to meet each one of them, but they couldn't stay for long. The first place they went was Claire. Claire is a pig that lives on a farm, and they gave her some rubber boots so she wouldn't get stuck in the mud anymore. And in England, they're called welly bobs. And Cherry dropped the welly bobs as they were zooming by. They slowed down on the sleigh, and all the radios slowed down, and they threw over the boots and shouted,
Claire! Don't get stuck in the mud anymore,
said Cherry. Claire looked up and said,
Thanks, guys.
Waved, and they were off to the next person. The next person happened to be Gideon the rat, with his big, super huge family.
We have something very special for you, Gideon. We have a lot of milk and a lot of cookies.
And she dropped tons and tons of milk and cookies over the side of the sleigh. Gideon shouted and waved, Thanks, guys! Merry Christmas! And Vaya said,
Berry Isimus! Berry Isimus!
And waved, and they were off to the next person. They visited Petra the panda, and Petra the panda had a really cool gift. Heidi pulled out the biggest, most hugest bale of bamboo leaves, and they slowly popped it over the side of the sleigh, and Heidi said, Merry Christmas, Petra. And Petra said, Thanks, Merry Christmas. Then they went and saw Alex the bear, and Vaya managed to, without biting on it at all, push over a big, giant salmon. The salmon landed right there in front of Alex, and Alex went, Ooh, yum. And they all shouted,
Berry Isimus!
Because it was so cute.
Berry Isimus!
Berry Isimus, shouted Alex back, and as he waved, they were off again. No time to waste, remember? The next place they went was to see Jasmine. Jasmine was so soft and fluffy, Cherry had to just lean over and feel her just a little bit. She was so soft and fluffy. This is for you, Jasmine. This is for you. When they shear you and they take all your wool, I bet you get cold. Well, this is for you. And she threw over a woolly hat, some woolly mittens, and a woolly jumper. Ooh, thanks, guys, said Jasmine, and they were off again. They visited Giraffe, and Giraffe got a bag full of tiny little green leaves, fresh green leaves from the tops of the trees. Giraffe's favourite. Thanks, guys, said Giraffe. And then finally, this one was difficult, but they managed it. The reindeers, the sleigh, Santa, and the cats all went underwater, deep, deep down the ocean, down to the bottom of the ocean until they found Martin the octopus. It was a very important gift that they gave Martin. Santa himself pinned a bravery pin on Martin because Martin was getting over being shy and he was doing really good at being brave. Martin put at least 6 of his little feet over the pin and held it really close and said, "Thank you, guys." And they all shouted, "Berry Isimus! Berry Isimus!" Bubbles popping out of their mouth as they moved back up out of the ocean and back into the sky. They went so far around the world. They delivered so many presents that night. It was the best night of their entire lives. Heidi was so impressed. Cherry was just over the moon. She got to spend so much time with Santa. Her bestest friend! You're my bestest friend! You're my bestest friend! And Vaya, well, Vaya just thought that was the coolest trip in the entire world, and she couldn't work till next Christmas when she can climb into Santa's sack. The end. Now, how cool is that? How cool would it be to be able to go all over the world with Santa and deliver presents to all the little boys and all the little girls and all of the animals and the adults and whoever Santa wants to give gifts to, whoever was good? That would be super cool, don't you think? But remember, you have to be asleep when Santa comes. Heidi and Cherry got very lucky that they actually saw Santa while they were awake. Because trust me, no one normally sees Santa. They have to be asleep for him to come. That's what they always told me when I was small. That's why I never got to see him. Actually, how are you ever going to get to see Santa if your eyes are closed? But trust me, you have to sleep. Otherwise, when you wake up in the morning on Christmas Day, he may not have been, and that would not be cool. Make sure that you close your eyes if you haven't done so already. Make sure that you're relaxed and ready to go to sleep. I know it's super exciting thinking about Christmas and all the different gifts that you get to give people and all the different gifts that Santa might bring you. I know it's super, super exciting, and it gets really difficult to sleep at this time of year because every day gets closer and closer to Christmas Eve. But trust me, you need your rest. You need to be able to sleep so that you can play with all your toys or do fun things on Christmas Day. Because if you're super duper tired, then all you'll want to do is sleep, And that's really boring on Christmas Day. So let's sleep now. Okay? Take a few deep breaths. Start to let your body slow down and relax. Maybe a little yawn. Maybe a big yawn. Get yourself all cozy and warm in your blankets. Let's just relax and let go of our day. Let go of everything in our minds. Try and be calm and quiet inside, and calm and quiet inside of your head. Just try and relax your toes, your feet, your ankles. Try and relax your legs and your knees. Let your hips get heavy. Relax your back and your belly. Let your shoulders get sleepy and tired, and your arms get sleepy and tired. Let your head get super, super heavy and tired. Let your entire being relax. Relax, relax, relax. Get sleepier and sleepier and sleepier until you're almost getting to that point where you feel like you're floating on a cloud. Your whole body is relaxed and sleepy and tired. Just let yourself go. Let yourself go. Merry Christmas, my little friend. Love you.